Are the growers in Latin America better or the growers in Europe?
That's a tough one, man. You put me right away in a controversial spot. Nowadays, everybody wants to do more, make it more complicated, make it more complex.
What you're saying is basically keep it simple.
Exactly, you know. If you're starting a
Yeah.
project somewhere in Latam, for example, you need to have a few wins before you can
Yeah, for sure.
actually afford the lose.
So final statement, information should be shared openly and not gatekept.
Let's say you have a bakery and it's the most successful bakery in town, and I just walked in and, hey, can I have your recipe? Then you harvest, and you cannot rush any of the processes of what we do, and you learn that only through the years. Like,
So no drying in the microwave, I get from
no, I stopped doing that a while ago. I'm mainly on the rosin now.
We are seeing a lot of movement in the market where people are working with dry crop salts, dry salts basically, that are mixed in water to make the nutrients. What do you think about those in specifically a homegrown setting?
I always explain to my customers in social clubs, for example, that those solutions are made for pharmacies, industrial hemp, CBD. Yeah. What was your question?
Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to episode 7 of Legendary Talks, the official Playground podcast. I'm Joey, I'm the community lead for Playground, and today I'm sitting here with my colleague from all the way over from Latin America. His name is Pablo. Pablo, with you being from Latin America, having seen a lot of Europe, having seen a lot of the world, I was thinking let's start controversial with the question, are the growers in Latin America better or the growers in Europe?
That's a tough one, man. You put me right away in a controversial spot.
That's what we're here for.
And I'm gonna answer controversial, because I think the growers in Latam are better in the sense that we have less resources for many years to do things, So we have to adapt. We have to do the best we could with what we had for many years. And a lot of people were able to develop great products for cannabis, like locally. And
even while working with less materials, basically, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Growing with less materials, less genetics, even everything less available. Meanwhile, in Europe, you had it for so long that I think we can compare Latam reality of 10 years ago with Europe probably 20 or 25 years ago. So it was available. So in the other hand, everybody smokes pure in Latam. Nobody mix it with tobacco.
What are you trying to say with that?
It's hard to judge how.
So not only are you saying that the Latin American growers are better growers, you're also saying that the Latin American smokers are better smokers.
It could be. It could be exactly, because if you mix it with tobacco, with all due respect, it's hard to judge.
No, I think that's very fair.
I get it with hash. It's a little bit different story.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people will say nobody mix weed with tobacco, but I've been to the coffee shops. So.
There's, I would say, in the Netherlands, in Spain, and a lot of European countries, it is kind of the standard to roll with tobacco.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I will also say that I see a big movement, a growing movement at least, into people starting to smoke more pure. I myself have been smoking pure, I think now 7 years-ish
right.
of my
15-ish
year.
Good for you.
Yeah, but the thing is also, it's not easy, especially if you think like, okay, if I go to a coffee shop, the average weed is about 10 euros a gram. If you have more cheap stuff, how are you going to smoke pure if you have to pay 10 euros a gram for every, it's not very feasible for a lot of people.
It's definitely something, I can definitely understand that. Also in the sense that it doesn't work like that for me, but a lot of people say that it's softer when they mix it with tobacco. If I do that, I'll die. So my tolerance for pure cannabis is super high. I can use it. I use it as a medical option. I'm a medical patient in Chile. We have a medical program, let's say. So, yeah, in that sense, regarding if better growers here or there, there's good things everywhere, but I think we have less options.
You had a little bit less to work with, and because of that, it forced you to be a little bit more creative, and maybe that, in a sense, made you a better grower over there.
Absolutely.
I can dig it. I can also argue the opposite, though. I can say, well, we had more stuff here, so we were able, with that more stuff, to learn better how to grow better.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, information, because information is a thing, and resources, let's say hardware, lights of nutrients, are a different thing. You can find the information online,
True,
but you cannot. You will only look at the picture of a green sensation if you don't have it.
You can imagine it
exactly. But any other day, yeah, you can have the info, and I always say, like. Nutrients are, of course, very important part of what we do. It's how do we feed our plants, but on the other hand, it shouldn't be the most complicated part of what you're doing.
100% agree.
Like being a grower, regardless indoor, greenhouse, outdoor, it requires a lot of skills, and you need to figure it out. A lot of things, safety. Being one of them, so nutrients should be like easy.
Yeah, you don't want to think about it too much, right?
Exactly. So in that sense, yeah, we had less things to work with for a few years, and after a while, things started to come in.
So tell me then, if you look at the differences between how growers grow in Europe and how growers grow in Latin America. Do you notice anything different there other than less stuff being available to work with?
Right. I mean, nowadays we have the same type of things that are available. It was like back in the day, I'm talking, in a place like Chile 20 years ago, in a place like Argentina 10 years ago, in a place like Uruguay 15 years ago, because every country happened at a different time, and resources and things started to being available. But yeah, what was your question?
The differences between how growers in Europe are growing in Latin America.
Yeah, exactly. I think nowadays it's about the same, because we both have the U.S. influence.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, good point.
So at the beginning, in Latam, especially in Chile, this is where sort of everything started with brands and genetics happening in the continent. It was purely European style, Spanish mainly. That's the wholesalers we had were all from Spain. A few local companies as well, but we had brands like Hortitech or Hemp Trading or Planta Sur located in our country as well. So everything that they did was available. All of the books that were in Spanish about growing were coming from Spain. So it was a lot of that school. The genetics,
that makes sense.
The genetics were all...
It's just the information that you had available, the genetics, the distributors, all... It
was all White Widow, Critical, Haze, Amnesia, Moby Dick, like all of the things
old school
that were...
classic Dutch coffee shop strains, basically.
Exactly. And then things started coming from the U.S. because we as a country also have a strong U.S. cultural influence coming in all sort of things, including cannabis. And then you had other brands, other styles.
Yeah, in a way, America turning legal or more countries turning legal kind of, in a way, globalized cannabis, how we see it, right? Like it's more universal how people are going about it.
And things move forward, I mean, it's on a legal market. People are allowed to do more things. They can move faster.
Yeah, you can make real progress indeed, instead of having to hide everything in basements and in attics. Yeah.
So it moved faster, and then and then people start to replicate that. I think nowadays it's all about crop steering and all of this information that seems very new. Some of it is new, some of it was already there.
Yeah,
You
just
know,
repackaged.
like if you put it all together, and it's nice. It's good.
Mhm.
It's good for people to know it, to have it. Not everybody can grow up to those standards everywhere,
Of course.
because even if you're spending a lot of money in a grow room, you're probably not going to get to the level of controlling your BPD perfectly 24 hours a day.
True.
Like, it's very hard to even like on a sort of commercial social setting, in a social club, for example. I mean, it's a non-profit, but they still got to make a living. So how
There still
much
has
do
to
you
be
have to
output, yeah.
spend to get up to those standards? So I think we are pretty much doing similar things nowadays, and I see growing, evolving, more technical.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure. I noticed that as well, indeed.
But at the same,
They have to, with the licensed producers just becoming more common, right? Like every penny is being turned 3 times. Like you better make
exactly.
sure that there's a proper output
I
there.
I see that it gets a lot more technical, but at the same time, less is more.
Yep. Yep.
Like it's not like more technical means let's buy more things or let's supply more products.
Yeah. It's a lot of data mainly, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like as we know, on a lower scale or higher scale of growing, environment plays a really
Yeah,
important
80% for sure.
role. So
But dude, then I'm curious. So with this globalization of cannabis and how people are growing that we are seeing in Latin America, because in Europe I talked about this in the last podcast, actually the previous one. We have this culture, especially with hash makers, that there's a lot of gatekeeping. People are not really keen on sharing how they make it. They feel like they have the little special tricks and they don't want to share it. They want to keep it to themselves for
Right.
a large part. Is that something that is common in Latin America for you guys as well?
I think it's quite common, especially in the hatch
Right.
making world, community, environment. And I kind of dig it, personally.
You dig it or you don't?
Yeah, I do. I do a little bit, in the sense that to get, it's not like growing. It's completely different. Especially, you mentioned Latam. It makes it even more complex, because the amount of material, flowers that people have to watch is quite limited. You don't have a lot of material to it. So you have to go through a lot of material, which costs you time, money, safety, dangerous.
Yeah, and then to just give away that information willy-nilly to every...
Exactly.
Yeah, I see
Like
what you
it
mean.
costs you a lot. It doesn't mean that you are not gonna give it to people that you care about, that you say, okay, this guy is also working good. But I don't know, sometimes you will get a text from somebody, hey, how do you do this? And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, not me personally, because I'm not a hatch maker, but I know among them it's a thing. You go through a lot of...
It's a lot of trial and error. It costs you a lot if you look at it that way. And why should anybody just get that for free without doing any hard thing for it? While I have
or
been
at
struggling,
least asking for it respectfully.
That is the basis for sure, man. I cannot disagree with that. Yeah,
like in that sense, because it's the same with growing or anything in that regard. Like
some common decency is nice. Yeah.
Now cannabis is a more open thing, and we can talk about things and feel more free. But for many years, it's been the opposite.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not saying do not share the information or anything like it. What I'm saying is that I know that it's a lot for people to get their
information,
data,
yeah.
because there's no research out there that it tells you how to do it. Is constantly developing.
Yeah.
And then something like live roasting, for example, is a fairly new thing. Of course, has a long time now, but fairly new from everything
It's a
we
very
know.
specialty product. A lot of people
It's
have never used it before.
Exactly. So it's competition.
Yeah.
A lot of people knows how
Something
to,
can be said there, yeah.
you know, a lot of people know how to do flowers
But
nowadays.
let me say it like this then. Okay, it is a competition. But if I have a certain technique and I share it with you, does that mean then that my product becomes less good?
No, it only means that let's go back to the original question. It was Latam, small market. You don't
Gatekeeping, no
have
keeping,
exactly. You don't have a lot of people consuming these goods. So if you're in a country where, let's say, 50 people can
yeah.
afford
I see what you mean. You have a good point.
you know, so and then you have 25 people that also wants to do it, but you are the best one making it. Then it's like, yeah, you kind of think about it, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In that sense, that's what I say. I kind of dig it because it's their business.
Yeah.
It's
You know, honestly, I had like completely the opposite opinion already, like from before the last podcast. But hearing this version now, I actually like I understand it more at least, and I get indeed. I wouldn't just give my information that I worked hard for myself out to anyone asking me. But indeed, if like you, it all depends on your approach at the end of the day, right?
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, if
You
I
come
know,
with this sense of
don't
entitlement as if somebody has to give it to you, then maybe you're not gonna get it.
Exactly. I know that everybody that has the information has to go through a lot of work, cold hands, a lot of things, you know,
Good
just
point.
to give it away.
Very fair, man.
Let's say you have a bakery and it's the most successful bakery in town, and I just walked in and, hey, can I have your recipe?
I see what you mean.
It doesn't make any sense, you know.
Yeah,
like,
fair enough.
like it's not like if you want, I teach you how to bake. That's not a problem.
But you mentioned also that you're not much of a hash maker yourself, but you are a grower.
Yeah.
How did your journey into growing ever start?
It started very, very early in life, let's say, because my family, I have older brothers, and cannabis was always around, let's say. There were plants at my house since I was 11, 12 years old.
Really? Yeah. From your siblings then?
Yes, exactly. So by the age 16, I was already a daily user, and I was always around the plants. And by the age of 18 or 19, everything about the cannabis industry was already happening in Chile. That's year 2006. And then I already had an indoor growing. So my mom was not happy about it every day.
But she allowed it, apparently?
Yeah, apparently, yeah. I mean, she was every day like, when are you going to take that out? Tomorrow. Never did.
And then take them out and the day after new plants.
Yeah, no, never did. But it was good, you know. At the end, it worked out good. It started like very, very early in life, and it worked out well. I never had other things like alcohol or like that.
Cannabis was your vice. You don't need
exactly,
anything else.
You know, it makes me feel grounded, and it makes me feel relaxed. So it did that since the beginning. I was a very hyperactive, still kid person. So
this is something that maybe I'm completely wrong, and maybe it's just the people around me or something, but I feel this is something that I keep noticing, that the people that keep using cannabis later in life often seem to be people that are like somewhat on the spectrum, so either ADHD or a little bit autistic, or both.
Probably have them all, bro. I'm not sure, but
gotta catch them all. Yeah, no, but
I gotta go.
That seems to be really a thing, and everybody says, "Oh, it just kind of keeps my mind more at ease, makes me productive." You know.
Well, I was definitely on the ADHD, like diagnosed. I was taking Ritalin since I was 5 years old.
Yeah, there you go.
Till I was 12. So then, when I smoked, it was just like feeling normal in a way.
Yeah.
and that's what he helps me to do, is just
Fair
balance
enough.
my whole being, you know.
But how do you actually grow? What does your setup look like?
Yeah,
What
grow.
plants do you grow?
Yeah, yeah, sure. I've been growing the same strain for the last 4 years.
Mhm.
Don't judge me. It's runs from Exotic Genetic.
Nice.
Uh,
And why do you keep running that one?
I keep that one because every time that I give it to someone, they think it's something special.
Mm.
So you know, I like
Then
it.
you know you have
I
something
like it
special, yeah.
personally, like
mean,
the
it has flavor for
you
you, yeah.
know, exactly. That for me, that was the reason that I kept it. And then with the time, I realized it was something special, because when people try it, they like it. It never goes, you know, unnoticed.
Mhm.
So it's a good plant to grow too. It's a good yielder. It's not the heaviest one, but it's good in balance. You know,
Mhm.
like good flavor, very good looking plant,
Yeah,
good
ticks some boxes
yields.
really.
You know, exactly. So that really helps. I grow with the Plagron light mix,
Mm-hmm.
Terra Grow, Terra
Mm-hmm.
Bloom, Pure Sim,
Mm-hmm.
Green Sensation, Sugar Royal, Calmac,
Mm-hmm.
Power Buds.
And I'm curious then also, why did you choose for the Terra line and not for the Alga line?
I like the Terra line because it goes a little bit faster
Yeah.
than the Alga.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's easier to work on my setup. You know, like I have a feeding line, which I try to keep.
Yeah, you're automatically feeding, yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Mhm.
So I try to keep it as clean as possible. It's not the biggest. It's 7 lights on each room,
Okay.
so it's easy to manage. You know, but the alkaline is also really good. But I choose that one because it just goes a little bit faster.
Mm.
It's a biomineral. I like that thing,
You know,
biomineral.
I heard the Spanish team now talk about that they often recommend to people that they use like Terra, Coco, Hydro, whatever they're using, but then maybe like once a week put in the Alga Bloom to kind of just boost flavor, boost. It's not going to be something that is applicable for you because you're
Right? Yeah,
working with
yeah.
an automatic watering system, but
Yeah,
any
well,
thoughts on this?
it could be, you know. I mean, in a way, depending on which products you are using, it could be beneficial. I know you can use the algae grow as a foliar spray during bedding, even if you're growing on cocoa or
Mm-hmm.
any other
Yeah, you
media.
still get the benefits from the
Exactly.
seaweed.
And it will depends, you know. Nowadays it's a very turbulent times because there's a lot of purist grower
Mhm.
with the new techniques. Let's say, you
Sure.
know, a lot of like do it just like this,
Mm-hmm.
and on the other hand,
You
you
mean like
have
it has to be either fully organic or I have to be fully crop steering with my minerals on?
exactly, you know, and on the other hand, you have people who are growing, for example, to make resin,
Mhm.
but they also have big facilities, so they cannot go fully organic, but they need to try to do something extra to get flavor because it's all gonna go to resin.
Mhm.
So I've been reading stuff from the U.S. that a lot of growers are switching from fully mineral
Synganic, right?
to biomineral
Yeah.
solutions,
Yeah.
adding extra stuff. You
So
know,
basically, just having a combination of you have your mineral base, but you add some biological stuff, some biostimulants, some organic stuff on top of it to really bring the flavor back up,
exactly.
right? Yeah.
So in that sense, yeah, I get that 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 could make sense for some people. You know, this is it's a free world. You know, and
Very true. Yeah.
cannabis is a free plant. I was a skateboarder for many years.
Mm-hmm.
Skateboarding is a free sport. Nobody tells you how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you decide what tricks you want to make, how do you want to do them. And this is about the same. There's no rules.
Yeah.
There's just trends.
There's many ways that lead to Rome.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
just trends. And trends are things that pass and they keep evolving and changing
Yeah.
and they go along with people preferences, and that's consumers, not growers or facilities.
Also
If
true.
consumers don't want something anymore, that's it.
Finished. Yeah, that's also a good point indeed.
So I think it goes in sort of like that direction.
It goes two ways indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember anything from your earlier grows or from your earliest grows, something like some major fuck up that you had that you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, man.
tell us.
I remember one very, very funny. Because, like I told you at the beginning, early days, nothing was available.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, no substrates were around. So I was like 16. I need some soil. Where do I go?
You got some soil outside, I suppose.
There is a square in front of my house,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
like a plaza.
What?
I went there. I took some.
Not even going into nature or anything, just
Nah,
like
just
kick
like-
some stones
like-
aside, get some soil
exactly.
there.
I got this soil. It was like clay, bro.
Yeah, I bet.
Like
Super heavy, super
clay,
compact.
heavy. It's like it never drained. Drop of water.
You keep watering and watering.
yeah.
Where's my
Oh,
drain?
man. Still harvested though.
Okay, there you go.
Made it. Yeah. But that was funny. Like thinking at that time that you could use anything, you know. It's like
Yeah.
and you see it nowadays is good. Like I go, for example, to places like Argentina, and you have people there that started growing 4 or 5 years ago, and they have 25 lights, and that's a different type of progress, you know. Like you don't have that on many places. Like people grows for 5 years, they have a couple lights, they're learning. It's a long process, you know. It takes you a while to learn how to grow. It's a lot of information. Then you need to know how to read the plant. So
yeah, and while it is illegal, it's also kind of risky to take the step to go as big as, especially as quick, because you don't know when it's gonna all disappear, basically.
Absolutely. No, it's definitely a thing. But yeah, that was a major fucked up. Like trying to grow on clay.
And dude, how did you ever end up at Playground?
Oh, well, before a Playground, I used to work for Can Filters.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that for around 4 years, and you travel, you go places, you meet people, and I met a couple Playground people in between. And then my job at Can Filters came to an end, and I text these Playground contacts, and we made it happen. You know, like it was a little back and forth. No, we don't need anybody. Yes, you do. We don't. Yes, you do. I sold myself to them.
But they said that we didn't even invite you, or what did you say now?
No, because I did not work at Can Filters anymore. So I sent my contact in Playground a text. Hey, are you guys looking for somebody in Latam, let's say? And they were like, no, at the moment, we're fine. And I'm like, no, you need somebody. And they're like, no, we don't. And I'm like, yes, you do. And in that
the end,
back
you were
and forth,
convincing enough, yeah?
I convinced them. It's been almost 9 years now. So, yeah, that's...
Sounds like they were happy with their choice then.
Yeah, no, it's been good, you know. Like, yeah, of course, we work at Playground. We're gonna say it's good.
Playground is the best.
Exactly, you know. Like,
no, of course,
but it's actually really, it's a really good, it's a really
good product.
place, you know,
commitment to quality, good people.
It's an easy life with Playground. You know, it's not that complicated life. Our products are good, so it's easy to show up at places.
Yeah,
you
good
know,
point.
You know, like
you don't have to hide.
We don't have problems, beef with like the industry. Like, no, we're just like very grounded brand. You know, like we focus on the quality of our products and the quality of our people, and that speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And people notice it, you know, like they like it, they notice it. The scalability of our products is more than proven. So in that sense, I rest easy, you know. It's
easy job.
Yeah.
You get to do what you love,
Yeah,
and you get to talk to people about
definitely,
it the
man.
whole day.
I mean,
Could be worse.
definitely, exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's really good. You know, like
Cool.
I really like it.
So Pablo, in your eyes, what separates a good grower from a bad grower, or from an average one?
Well, I could tell to use the use of nutrients, products, and a lot of stuff, but rock bottom, patience.
Hmm.
That's one of the things that you cannot
And then
buy.
I think that's a very good point, but could you elaborate on a little bit on where do you look for the patience, basically,
Right,
that not everybody has?
right. Yeah, this growing is a very easy process, if you want to put it that way, but at the same time, it's really complex. So it's a living being,
Hmm.
and it takes time for processes, things to happen. Then you harvest, and you cannot rush any of the processes of what we do, and you learn that only through the years. You know, like
So no drying in the microwave, I get from that.
no, I stopped doing that a while ago. I'm mainly on the rosin now.
Okay, fair.
But yeah, no microwave, no rushing your plants, no adding more nutrients than the manufacturer says that you need to do. It's not gonna do anything for you, man.
Yeah, yeah, I can dig that.
It's really
So then, if I would ask you, what do you still see a lot of growers do wrong? What would you answer to that?
right. That would be environment, you know. I see on, of course, home growing scale or social clubs around Latam, they invest on different things, but they don't invest sometimes on a good AC
Yeah,
or a proper humidifier, stuff like that. That will really, really
kind of
make a
the basics are easily ignored for all of the cool and shiny gadgets and things to really,
absolutely,
yeah.
or simple things like a good pH or EC meter. Like
Not
stuff
unimportant,
like
yeah.
that. Like very basic stuff that, yeah, when you've been doing it for many, many years, it's like you cannot do it without it. It's like having a car without wheels. You cannot go anywhere. So, but a lot of people try to drive it like that. So their cars are stuck. Meanwhile, other mobs.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean indeed. Um, and if we look at nutrients, you just mentioned that we are seeing a lot of movement in the market where people are working with dry crop salts, dry salts basically that are mixed in water to make the nutrients. What do you think about those in specifically a homegrown setting?
Right. That's interesting, man, because as I mentioned before, there's a lot of trends that goes in the community, in the industry,
Hmm.
and people tend to think that's a solution for them.
That is like the next level up again.
Exactly,
Yeah.
like that's gonna make your crop better and
Hmm.
stuff like that. I really think that's more of a industrial type of solution
Hmm.
that you're growing purely for commercial purposes,
Yeah.
which is fine if you're also a craft grower and you do it for commercial purposes, but through a different product. If
Hmm.
you're a craft grower, you want to have something better than a pharmacy, for example.
Hmm.
You want to have something fresher. You want to have something that lasts longer.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think those solutions are good. We have them. For example, with Blackground Pro,
Hmm.
I always explain to my customers in social clubs, for example, that those solutions are made for pharmacies, industrial hemp, CBD, stuff where it's not really about the terps,
Hmm.
it's about the molecules. So
Hmm.
they're growing molecules, let's
Yeah.
say, like we grow for the terps, we grow for the, of course, the flavor, the cleanliness, the strains. It's completely different
Hmm.
approach, I think.
It's almost just biomass at that scale, indeed. And when we're looking at. So I think what you're describing is that the problem is kind of that people tend to look at it as if it's like a possible upgrade to increase the quality or make their product better, when in reality they're really using a industrial solution that is made to be cheaper, basically. But with that you also lose some of the quality that you could have.
Yeah.
So people get kind of lost in that, in a sense, I suppose.
Correct. And it's not even cheaper on. If you put it on our industry, it's about the same. It changed a little bit, and it's only also mainly I noticed that people switch base nutrient for powders and keep using all of the additives.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
Yeah, what are you trying to get from that, right?
Exactly. It's not that you change everything, like how much are you actually saving? Like, I don't know.
Good point.
It's really, if you're running 20 lights, so you're gonna really make a change on what you're doing, considering the extra work of making a fertilizer. You're not making a nutrient solution. You're fabricating a fertilizer at home.
Yeah.
So
you probably have to pre-mix it in water. Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of extra steps
it
that
gets
you have.
kind of complex, I heard stories of people who've done the first step wrong and they don't realize until later, and
can start
it
all
could
over
happen.
again.
If you open a social club, let's say in Chile or Argentina, first you start small, then you start upscaling, then you hire people, and guess what? They probably don't know how to do it. So if you make it more complex, if you make it more complicated, you have more chances to fail, and in the process you probably save a little bit of money.
Yeah, good point. But then it costs you money where you fail. So
exactly, you didn't save much. So
good point. Yeah.
I think, like I say, I think it's trends, it's fashion, it's a lot of that, and I get it. It's normal that people wants to try new things, and it's fair that they do, because that's the only way they can go back to what works for them or move to the next thing. And it's
also easy to have opinions about everything before you use it yourself or before you really see it. So I can also make an argument that hey, try it indeed if it's for you, and then you find out that maybe it's not. Yeah,
it's hard to talk about something just as an spectator. You have to do it, you have to try it, and you can talk with providence on what you're saying. So I think it's good.
So is there anything in growing at the moment that you feel is underrated? Like whether it be techniques, whether it be maybe even genetics, or
I think making less is really underrated.
Making less?
Yeah, because nowadays everybody wants to do more, make it more complicated, make it more complex. Like
what you're saying is basically keep it simple.
Exactly, and in that sense, it's been proven that works. So if you're starting a project somewhere in Latam, for example, you need to have a few wins before you can
for sure.
actually afford the lose.
But at the same time, I feel like also this is exactly what I always heard, like for 10 years already, from the best growers always say, keep it simple. Why add all these variables and all these things if you don't even control the basis yet? It doesn't make any sense, right?
Exactly.
And in the basis, like we just talked about it earlier, I think that of your yield of everything, like probably 80%, if not more, is your environment. And then with the rest, you can tweak with your nutrients and your this and your that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just keep it simple, like imagine people spend X amount of money in setting up a room, buying expensive a lot of things, and trying to control everything, but their pH meter is not calibrated. Like what are you doing then? Like you do all of those things and then you fail at the bottom. You should just calibrate your meter, and that should have been enough. So cannabis is a really strong plant. It's a really strong plant.
A lot of beatings, yeah.
It can take a lot, it's very, very good plant in that sense, and it's not so hard to grow it. I think so. Underrated. I think is that people try to do more instead of keeping it simple, fulfilling the plant's needs,
Mm-hmm.
keeping a good environment, and that will be a good deal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can dig it, man.
so
Very true.
that's what I think. People keep chasing yields and they harvest losses. So
Yeah. Yeah. So to jump from that, I'm kind of curious. Now, I feel like we're brushing on it already. What are your thoughts on flushing? Because it's starting to. It was something that was the standard, but it is starting to become something somewhat controversial with some research coming out.
right. Yeah, I heard about it. I'm a flusher. What can I say?
You're a
I'm
flusher,
still
yeah?
a flusher.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but
If you flush, then how do you flush? Do you
right.
not give any nutrients? Do you leave out
No,
certain components? Or?
I just give the plant just water on the right pH,
Mhm.
right? Sometimes I keep Calmac on. The strain I have likes it.
Mhm.
Some other strains might not like it. Like I think flushing has to do with poor quality products, salts that we used to put in the soil like many, many years ago.
Mhm.
Uh, every brand has improved over the last 20 years.
Mhm.
Raw materials are better, everything is better.
Mhm.
So
So that in that sense, there would be less of a need to flush, is what you're saying.
exactly, because I don't know, I think that it has to do a lot with how available the nutrients are for the plant and how much nutrients are actually accumulating there, how healthy your plant is.
Mm-hmm.
It has to do with a lot of things. So it doesn't mean that you did terrible work for the last 3 months,
You
but
can
you
flush it out and then
but
it's
you
clean.
flush it
Yeah,
out and
yeah.
it's all good. It doesn't work like
Mhm.
that. Like you could also do great work during your grow operation, and for whatever reason you had to harvest 5 or 10 days earlier that you thought, and guess what? It tastes good. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Mhm.
So I can also understand that flushing is not a thing. I mean, I'm not a scientist or a
Sure.
chemist. I tell people.
But you are flushing yourself, you say, right?
I flush
And
just.
how long do you flush?
I do it for 10 to 15 days.
Oh, okay, that's pretty long then,
yeah, that's a good time, I think.
But
just
you are
to
growing on soil, so I suppose that holds so
exactly.
much.
It's a bit
Would
longer.
you do that also if you were on cocoa?
No, it will be a lot shorter then.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your plants will be quite dead.
Yeah, right.
On
It will
15
not
days
love you for that.
without
Yeah, yeah,
without food on cocoa. But no, with that's what I also use soil. In my case, I could easily use cocoa, but soil gives you a little bit more room for
Yeah.
errors. I
Yeah,
travel
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot. I'm not always home,
Mhm.
not always there. So it's good to have some room for error. Things happen,
Keep
You
it
could
easy
be
again, eh?
you could be growing for 20 years and still be learning. We're always
Of course, man.
learning. Things are always
Yeah.
evolving.
The moment you think you know everything, I think you have a big problem, man.
Exactly, man. I
Yeah.
mean, you see it sometimes, and then in cannabis, it's a lot of
Yeah,
egos.
for sure.
and,
I've been growing for 10 years.
exactly,
Yeah, and
like
and your plants still look like shit.
all
Sorry.
all kind of things, and I think it's good. I see more people with a humble view of their cannabis life than people who thinks that knows everything. You
For
have
sure.
on both ends.
It's pretty it's pretty impressive also if you smoke cannabis and at the same time you have this huge ego, in my opinion, because I feel like smoking cannabis is something that makes me reflect on like my ego and all this stuff also, you know?
Absolutely. I mean it. Yeah, it's a plan that should maybe they need to smoke more. But
Right?
I don't know.
Smoke some more
Smoke
humility.
some more. Yeah, maybe start with extracts.
Yeah, some heavy
But
stuff.
But yeah, it happens a lot, you know. It happens a lot. Flushing is one of those very controversial points where egos also come out because, man, there is it's unfortunately so much little research on cannabis so far.
Hmm.
There's every time more. But compared
Yep.
to
Always
other
new stuff.
plants
Yeah.
or other substances, we still know very little. Like every
Yeah.
month, every 6 months, there's something new. There's something happen.
I would argue though even about other plants. For sure, there's been a lot more research on it, and they had a lot more time to work on it, like breeding and all this stuff. But I think even there we know about this much. There's
Yeah,
so much stuff about this, just how plants grow and all of the different variations, and that we have no clue about yet.
definitely, definitely. Yeah, we know about oil,
In what sense do we know about oil?
petroleum, diesel.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of
We can make a
research.
lot with that indeed, yeah.
It's a
From
lot of
medicine to
research.
plastics to everything that you can think of, yeah.
So yeah, if it was more research, we could replace all that. It's
Who
a
knows?
very, very, very good plan. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's also this thing, right? Hemp is so diverse. You can make so much stuff with it that it's like, how long do we have to wait until this industry
yeah,
actually really starts taking
no,
off? But there's
absolutely.
too much other industries that are
Yeah,
not gonna gain from that. That I guess are
no,
making it more difficult.
no, that makes it really, really difficult. We live in an exciting time now. You know,
For sure.
it's been the best time for cannabis in the last 50 years,
Seems like it.
probably. Not for the industry per se.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very damaged industry because of the same reason. I think it gets more mainstream now. It's everywhere. It loses value.
Mhm.
It's more accessible.
We're talking about now the price of the end product basically tanking and that having an effect on the rest of the industry as well, right?
Exactly. Everything that's behind it. So it's changing. You know, new markets are popping up, like
Mhm.
in Latam, for example, are very like thriving markets. We're now going into Brazil, for
Mhm.
example. So we're
Do-
look, yeah.
If we then are talking about the industry as a whole, is there like something in this industry that like what is for you the biggest lie that this industry kind of keeps perpetuating,
Oh, biggest lie.
or just something
Oh
that you
man,
don't agree with completely that you keep seeing, keep running into?
that it should be complicated. You know,
Fair enough, yeah.
you know,
You
like
get back
that's.
to the
I
keep it
think
simple, yeah.
that's a sort of a big myth. You know, you have.
You need to check your VPD, have all your sensors, yeah,
Yeah, you know,
know
like
exactly what nutrients are going to go
people's
in.
been doing it successfully for many, many years without doing or knowing many of those
Yeah, but it
things.
just wasn't that good yet, right?
Exactly, you know. So
Yeah.
I think the biggest development had happened with lighting more than nutrients or growing techniques. Or of course, lighting has also changed nutrition for the plant. It has
Mm-hmm.
different needs.
Mm-hmm.
But
Would you go into that? How do you feel lighting has been changing a lot? Because I could say something about it, but
yeah, no,
curious to hear
definitely.
from
I
you.
mean, for many years it was everything HPAs,
Mhm.
right? Then we have the can't remember the name right
CMH?
now exactly.
Ceramic metal
Yeah,
halide, yeah. The
and
ceramic
then
lights.
we went to the LEDs, and
Mhm.
the LEDs.
Yeah, and
are
LEDs and ceramic metal halide was still kind of at the same time, but the LEDs were kind of lagging behind still,
exactly.
right?
And now the LEDs are more affordable, quite good. You know, I used HPAs for I don't know, not too long ago, maybe
Yeah.
a year and a half or 2 years,
Mhm.
only because
Same actually.
it was expensive to do the switch, and yeah, it was I don't know, the price was like 4 times more, and I wasn't gonna get 4 times the
Yep,
production. So
that
I
is
was
a
like,
big point indeed, and something that I have myself always had in my mind. Okay, I'm living in the Netherlands. It's not super warm here. If I want to get my grow room to the temperature that my plants are going to be growing at optimally, I'm not going to have enough with just LED. I need to put heating in there as well. So then I start thinking, why the fuck am I putting there a light that is like 700 watts or whatever, and then on top of that also adding heating for like 2000 watts? It's insane when you think about it, when I can just put a light in there that has the heat and the light.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
There's a lot more possible. Like, you can push your plant more with LED.
Yeah.
That is very clear.
You can. I mean, I've noticed a change, and I wouldn't go back now. And I also think that I should have done the change earlier. Also, like
all those stereotypes, right?
Exactly. Like I was wrong. Yes, but it was expensive. It was not completely logical at the time. But yeah, it changed. Lighting has changed.
I have a question there actually also, because I recently in the last week I saw on Instagram this discussion start up where people were arguing that the text was that LED weed or LED flower has no soul. Like
no soul?
Yeah, as in that they feel like it's missing something compared to when you have HBS buds.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, the sun is always better.
Yeah, of course, but we're talking now HPS.
Yeah, no, I know
LED,
what you mean, but
yeah.
in that sense, like we could say HPA has no soul too.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay,
like
good point.
It's like, and in that sense, it's like, yeah, you always want to get the most natural possible thing, but we have pushed this plant beyond what we ever
what we thought
imagined.
Was possible. Yeah, indeed.
So for that, we need all the equipment that we have been creating, and the demand for cannabis is up to the roof, up to the sky on every country.
Yep.
We have countries importing, exporting in all sort of ways. And yeah, I mean, I think, look at the Netherlands, for example. You guys produce a lot of veggies for Europe. Most of it is done indoors.
Wait a minute. The Netherlands is producing patches for Europe?
Yeah.
Of cannabis?
No. Like
just a different crops,
lettuce.
Yeah,
or
for sure.
tomato,
Yeah, we are a
whatever,
big agricultural
agricultural producer, all indoors.
Mm-hmm.
Are those
The
veggies
greenhouses more for
soulless?
the most part,
Like, they're really good, like. So in that sense, I think
I would actually argue yes. Those fucking greenhouse tomatoes that are grown here in the Netherlands, they fucking taste like water, man. They have no flavor.
Yeah, well,
those definitely do not have a soul.
That's the tomato strain, because I
think it's
That's a strain. It's the same with the wheat, because sometimes you have people that they do great work, but the taste is not there. But it's clean. It tastes good. You saw the crop, it was fine, but the taste is not there.
Yeah, fair.
And you could have a grower that did shitty work and he has a really good strain.
Yeah, that is also a thing in DJ.
So, yeah, nature is complex.
You can say that again, yeah.
But yeah.
Is there any advice that you think beginner growers hear too much and they should really just ignore?
Buy more nutrients. No, buy more nutrients, by the way.
You need all of the playground nutrients, by the way. Yeah.
45 products.
No,
I think that an advice that they probably hear too much is growing automatic strains indoors. That's a good one, man. Stop doing it.
Why?
It's just harder to grow one of those plants. They're so delicate, like you do one thing wrong, one mistake, and it will stay there forever.
Yeah, or start flowering too early.
Exactly, it's like very delicate, like, so. Yeah,
this is something, personally, I should also say, I have never grown an autoflower before, but this is also something that and I think I talked about it in other podcasts, I just never understood it really, because, like, I think it's generally accepted that autoflowers are usually 9 times out of 10 not as flavorful as, like, the elite cut that you can get. I would even go as far as say like as a lot of photos that you can get. So then why are you doing it? And then the argument that I hear is, well, it's quicker and it gives me more yield. But yeah, I guess then I'm just a different type of smoker because I like to have a nice yield, but it's more important for me that I love smoking it, that the flavor is really there, you know, and of course the effect. But even there, I would go as far as I've tried a lot of autos. I feel like I smoke it, and half an hour later, first of all, flavor generally a bit disappointing. But like half an hour later, I think, man, it's time to smoke another one, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. That's another trend. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
people
good
follow
point.
them.
Yeah.
You know, like they
Very
follow
good
them.
point.
So
I will say, I think there's a place for it. Yeah,
yeah,
there's a place
the
for
outdoor.
it. But maybe it's not indoor indeed
No.
in your
Opa.
throwing
Yeah.
out the lights.
I think it's definitely outdoors when you have more than 12 hours of light
Yeah.
and you want to have some flowers before harvest,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in the next season.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I've seen facilities with 5,000 automatic plants in Argentina
Mm-hmm.
during the months of October to December, when the light is probably 16 hours, 14 hours of light.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they had
That's
a crop.
perfect, yeah.
Exactly, they had a crop when they were not supposed to have a crop.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really good. But yeah, I think that's an advice that they hear from other beginner growers. You know,
Yeah.
not experienced growers will tell you, yeah, do an automatic strain.
Exactly.
It's just like a friend from a friend.
You know, one other argument that I heard that I also just don't understand is like, I start growing autoflowers, or I grow autoflowers because it's harder and then it's easier to grow photos.
Right.
That's weird, right? Yeah.
It is. It is. It's
Okay.
new times, man. It's new
Yeah.
times. Like when nowadays you have people starting growing and they have so many options. It's
Yep.
hard to
Yeah.
know where
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
start.
That's also the thing, indeed. It's very
Really,
easy to get confused and
uh,
get lost in all of the different variables. Yeah.
20 years ago, you had a seed and you didn't know what was
Find
going to
some
come up
substrate.
with. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
like go to the plaza, dig some soil.
Right. Yeah.
But nowadays, yeah, they have options. So they go to a shop and whoever's there
Yeah.
will lead them.
Okay, so let's jump from that to playground in Latin America. Um, I haven't been there myself, but I've seen with the latest expo, I think it was in Argentina, just like how big playground was there with the outdoor area, but at the same time, all of these artists from around that seem
Sure.
to gravitate towards there. I'm just curious, what is the role of community in Latin America for you with playground or with cannabis in general?
Right. Yeah, I think the role has been truly that, actually making a community around us, because what we do is to help growers to achieve results that they are happy with, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no way for us to succeed without helping people, and this creates a community around you that's revolving, and people that's happy
Basically,
be
very
there.
organically how it came about by just doing your job.
Yes, absolutely. You
Yeah.
know, like, and also being very humble when you come to people, because
That helps, yeah. Yeah, there's some stories go around about other companies
we talk
where
about
people are a bit
egos
less humble.
before, you
Yeah.
know, and I think that, like I mentioned at the very beginning, you had less resources to do things,
Mm-hmm.
and you have people doing great things with very little resources. So you cannot come in and tell them, "Oh, I'm going to make everything better for you." He already did great without you,
Yeah.
right? So
I see
let's
what you
just
mean.
start from there.
Yeah.
And when you start from there, you really want to help, and these are the options, and you
Mhm.
can try them, You can see if it works for you. You can tell me if you don't like it. You can tell me why you don't like it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and being able to have a conversation without an ego. And
So feedback also plays a part in that.
it
Then
does.
basically, yeah.
It does, of course, because every market is different in the sense that growers do different things
Mm-hmm.
and they grow differently.
Mm-hmm.
So they can also have ways of doing stuff that is making a problem for them, and they don't know. You know, like, I don't know, adding more nutrients than what the bottle says, because in the past they were using local nutrients
Yeah.
that were not formulated properly, and they had to do that, and that stick with them.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff like that, you know, it goes
Yeah.
changing.
I get that indeed.
So
But can you put your finger on what it is exactly that made Playground work so well in the Latin American market?
well,
I guess it's a combination of this community that started gathering, but is it?
absolutely, but it all has to start with the quality of the products that we make. You know, it's hard to gravitate
Yeah.
towards something that has given you problems
Yeah,
on your
the
crop.
product had to prove themselves,
You
to
know,
prove itself
like
indeed.
once the products are good, it's not easier to make a community, but it's actually possible.
Yeah, without
Exactly,
that makes sense.
because to make a community, that's something more complex. You need more than just a good product.
Yeah,
You
something
need-
that brings
you
people
need-
together. Yeah.
You need people around that are likable, people
Mhm.
that are approachable, you know, so be open to everything that can come
So that's
to
where you come in.
to collaborate, you know. Yeah, no, I consider myself as a very open, easy to
Yeah, for
reach,
sure.
talk, you know, like
I don't think there's anybody that will argue against such a.
I've been growing many years. I don't think I do it better than anybody else.
Yeah.
I'm happy with what I do because the people that receives it has no complaints and they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that tells me everything is good, you know, like I don't get complaints about playground quality, you know. Sometimes I get complaints because there is not enough in some places.
I've had
And
that
we
complaint too,
cannot
yeah.
like I don't know. One time one of our shipmen to Uruguay went to China for
Oh fuck, dude.
for a mistake of a
Okay.
shipping company.
That's crazy.
So we cannot control things like
Mm.
that, and of course, yeah, you will have those type of complaints too, and you need
That's
to
an
know
expensive
how to,
mistake from the shipping
that's,
company. Damn.
Yeah, that container that arrived to the wholesaler like 6 months, like from the time that it was supposed to arrive. So things like that, you cannot always control.
Yeah.
But I think that what has played a key role for Playground to be a community, to actually succeed and have a play, is the quality of the products and the people that's behind it. Here in the
Mhm.
Netherlands and Europe in general, and of course in Latam, you know, like
Yeah.
I'm the only employee there of the company, but we have more people around. So
Mhm.
that's why collaborations are important.
Yeah.
Just to be part of the market, to help people at the end, you know, like we want to sell products and that help us.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
We help people to grow, they succeed. So
And where do you see the market in Latin America go in the next 5 to 10 years?
definitely growing, moving towards a more regulated industry in some of the countries. It's on many ways it's very much more advanced than Europe because we
Yeah, it
do
looks-
have
mhm.
medical programs in
Mhm.
countries like Chile, Argentina. Uruguay is a recreational market.
That was going to be my next question. Indeed, how is it with? Does there seem to be a move where there's in the medical market also more move towards recreational now, or is that something that's still a little bit like not talked about that much? Not seems to be in the pipeline
It's
really.
definitely talked, not in the pipeline from what I see and what I know. It's pretty much sticking to medical and punishing more the recreational. Because
Punishing more.
yes,
Oh.
because let's say you live in a country where medical is allowed and you are carrying but you don't have a prescription.
Yeah, I
That
see.
makes it worse, you know.
Yeah.
And they make laws to punish you more to have it because you're not supposed to have it because you're not a medical user.
Okay.
So
So the legalization, or at least the medical legalization, is not always a benefit in Latin America either.
no, I think that's
Makes
it's
things
true politics, you know,
Yeah.
like the political system everywhere is composed by different parties and
Mhm.
pieces, and some of them agree one thing and some of them don't.
Yeah.
One day,
And after 4
one
years,
of
they change
them
again.
are in power. They
Mhm.
change one thing, not the whole thing, and then
Yeah.
Chile, for example, has a very open but unsafe medical law because it says you're allowed to carry, possess, grow, but doesn't say how much. It
Oh, and they
says
look at it case to case to see, hey, you are doing this commercially or you are doing this for yourself.
exactly. So
It's
that's
very willy-nilly then.
it's complicated, you know. Like meanwhile in Argentina they have a more clear
Mhm.
law on some things and very gray on some others. Uruguay has a very clear but strict law that
Mhm.
doesn't allow clubs to really grow and
Mhm.
make a living, you know, so
Mm.
it's more complicated. But hey, at least we can get a prescription
Yeah,
and have
it's better than
our
it was.
crops, you know, like it could be worse. It was worse
Yeah.
in the past,
Yeah,
so
good point.
I see it moving towards that direction, you know, like they already gave a few steps forward.
Yeah,
They may give one to the side, but
sure.
never to go back. So it's
No,
hard to go back.
that makes sense.
So
Yeah. Okay. And what about indoor versus outdoor? Basically, looking at the future, what do you see happening in Latin America?
well, for commercial, let's say, use local in the countries, I think indoor is definitely going up and what people prefers mostly. But at the same time, I see a lot of industrial applications also happening in these countries for different uses, exports, oils, CBD, you name it.
Where it's outdoor, you mean, with the industrial?
Exactly,
Yeah. Mm.
exactly. So I think both fronts are being developed
Yeah,
on their own ways, but the indoor sector is definitely
stays kind of big.
growing.
Yeah.
Exactly, you
Mm.
know. So it's,
Okay.
in that sense, good.
Mm. Well, as my final segment here,
Okay.
I have prepared some statements that relate back to statements that were made in old podcasts by other people. And I'm
Okay.
just gonna relay them here to you one by one, and I'm curious what your thoughts are.
Okay.
Though I will also say we have talked about some of them already,
All right.
so we can go over them a bit more quick. The first one is autoflowers are not for beginners.
Yeah. Well, we just
Yeah,
discussed that. We sort of agree.
I
They're
think so too.
not,
Yeah,
and
it's a pretty clear story,
they-
right?
should live in the outside area.
Yeah, I mean to each their own, of course. But
Yeah,
if you ask our
exactly.
opinion,
Yeah, I mean, it's
yeah.
fine, you know. I mean, it's fine,
Okay.
but not for beginners.
Flushing without nutrients does not make any sense.
What does he mean? Who said that? I mean, flushing without nutrients, like without in the nutrients in the media.
So flushing without any nutrients. So basically, what's being said is, if you flush your plants, you can, but you still want to make sure that there's some nutrients in your water, because if there's no nutrients in there, you run into problems.
Right, right. Depending what kind of growing you're doing, you know.
Yeah.
like-
what's your
like-
substrate? What, yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
That is the main thing, I guess,
Depending-
right? What's your substrate, right?
Exactly. I
Yeah.
think that will really be a definitive thing to consider. What
Yeah,
type of
Yeah.
substrate
And how
you're
long are you going to
using.
flush?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if definitely. That's a hard one to react.
So the next one, I'm not so F1 genetics will replace clones commercially.
Eh,
Have you seen?
I don't know.
So it's kind of interesting. Royal Queen Seeds is
Okay.
doing this F1 hybrid project, and they have been doing it for a bunch of years already. And
Right.
they have a couple strains now which are performing very stable. So it's kind of like you showed me with the grow that's happening in Argentina. The
Right.
plants are just all performing really very similarly. And the positive effect is here that they are yielding a lot. Like I don't know the exact numbers anymore. I would have to look back at the podcast, but they're yielding very much in a pretty short amount of time.
Right.
So in that sense, if you're not looking for the best of the best elite thing, I think on a commercial scale it can definitely make sense to be
Definitely.
running those rather than clones.
I bet that was Max.
That
And
was
he-
Max, yeah,
and he
yeah,
knows
yeah.
his shit.
For sure, yeah. He definitely knows his shit, yeah.
So yeah, what can I say, man? That's his feel, and they know it well, you know.
I would say
and,
so, yeah.
and that kind of makes sense, you know.
Yeah,
So
and they're working
especially-
hard on it also to make it happen.
Yeah,
So
and
something to be said about that.
There is like you said, to each his own. There is a setting, a facility for
Yep.
everything,
Yep.
and
Yeah, and you know, just looking at the, I think this was an example he might have used. Just looking at the German social clubs, or any place where they're gonna sell flour, you're gonna want to have the elite Skittles or whatever it may be, and those will be a little bit higher priced. But you also want to have options for more the budget people, the people
Yeah.
that are on a budget that cannot spend so much.
definitely.
And if you want to make it possible for those people to roll without tobacco also, for example, like we talked about before,
Yeah.
then you really need it. So an argument can be made that even though it might not be the best of the best flavor, it's still good and might be good enough for a lot of people.
If it's smokable and the price is affordable, I think
Right?
that's a good thing, you know.
Yeah.
The best weed is the weed you can smoke today.
I like that.
That's the best.
That's a good quote for the...
I was surprised in Germany because the price on the pharmacy weed was starting from €6.
Yep, lower, man.
In
It starts
even,
lower.
Even imagine.
It's really crazy.
So
and
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, to buy a seed is definitely cheaper probably than to buy a clone. Then
Most
I
likely,
don't
yeah.
know, you need to consider a lot of things that.
You don't have to keep mothers. Yeah, well, if you're buying clones, then you don't have to keep mothers anyway.
No,
But
it's like-
it is definitely something.
Yeah, it takes more time maybe, but if they do it in a shorter window.
That's the thing,
So yeah, I
Yeah, man.
think if you put it up and down and you see the results, that will work, you know.
Yeah,
But
bottom line.
I grew from seeds a lot of times,
Mm.
many times. Definitely bigger plants than clones.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a whole
Like-
different root system, just makes the plant more
Exactly.
strong, right?
I think that clones are really popular and needed and exclusive when it's something really
Yeah.
unique.
Yeah,
and
the
that's
elite
the
genetics,
only-
indeed, the special
exactly.
cuts, yeah,
Exactly. So
that
there's a
makes
lot of
sense.
hype in it too.
Of course.
This
Too much
industry-
hype.
This industry relies a lot on
Trends,
the
hype, yep,
and
yep,
so,
yep.
you know,
It's all for the
so,
gram.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah, man.
I like to keep it real, to keep it mature.
Fair
you
enough.
know,
Yeah.
like professional. Where we
Yeah, you
we
don't
try to
jump
help-
on every hype, indeed.
we
yeah.
try to help people as professionals. You know, not
Mhm.
as hey, bro, this is the best, bro.
Yeah.
You know, like no,
Fair.
more like this works. You know, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So
Next statement. Overwatering is the most common issue for
yeah,
beginners.
absolutely, man.
It is a common thing, yeah.
It's a really common
Yep.
thing. Especially if your environment is not right. It's really
Yeah.
hard. It's really
Yeah, and
easy
people,
to
I think,
overwater.
I think the issue might also be that people, for one, they don't know when their pot is watered enough, so they don't know
Yeah.
how to lift it or how it should feel. That is
Right.
one thing. But on the other hand, I feel like a lot of growers that I've known tend to water really on a schedule. Like one day I water, one day the next day I don't water. And if you do like that, that does not have anything to do with how much your plant drinks. So at some point, it's either it's building up or it's becoming too little. And
Definitely.
most of the time, it's building up.
Yeah, it happens a lot. You know, like if your plants are not drinking the water, let's say, like they're not gonna need anymore.
Very
You
true.
put some more.
Yeah.
With
Running out the
with
bottom, yeah.
nutrients, you know, like
Small
you're
little
just
plants.
making it worse. I totally agree with whoever said that.
That was Mark Bovens.
Uh-huh.
No, do you know Mark?
I know Mark.
Yeah,
I know
okay.
Mark.
Most advice on YouTube is trash.
Most of it, I don't know, man. I mean, there's a lot of info there regarding growing. Is one of the few places where people can actually speak
Yeah,
freely. So I wouldn't say so. You know,
fair.
it
The point here, I think this was one from Nemanja, and his point was mostly, which I kind of I took it out of that a little bit. The point was that there's so many people on YouTube. Everybody has a different way of doing it. That one says you need to do it that way. That one says you need to do it that way. And then people are using a combination of this, that, and the other thing, and that's where it goes wrong. Like if you have somebody on YouTube that you follow one person and don't follow
Yeah.
6 people.
well, yeah, that's like it's like mixing nutrients from different brands.
Exactly. It's very similar indeed.
It can work.
Yeah, you
It
might
can,
be lucky.
It can also go wrong, you know, like
Yep.
if you don't know what you're doing. So
That's the thing.
and if you're trying to follow advice from a guy who's growing on a super commercial facility and you have 3 lights, that's probably also not gonna work,
True.
you know. So
I see what you mean.
in that sense, yeah, I mean the advice is if trash if you're getting it from the if you're applying it in the wrong settings, you know, like
I think that's it indeed, yeah.
you know that, yeah.
So final statement.
Okay.
We kind of talked about it already. Information should be shared openly and not gatekept.
All right. Definitely, we can argue, share openly. Yeah, if
How openly?
for the right price. You
That is
know,
also something, yeah.
that's something.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you wanna keep it because you're a evil hash maker.
Yeah, it costs you a lot to learn it, as well.
Costs
That
a
is
lot.
also, yeah.
You know, I understand that, especially any market. If you think about the U.S. market, is oversaturated. If you think about Latam market,
Yeah, if
it's
you have
very
something
sm-
unique, you better keep it to
it's
yourself.
very
then.
small.
Yeah,
So in both ends, it's something that is just like I say, like a bakery. You know, like there's bakeries somewhere in France that people probably travel to go there in Paris, and they go.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
they want to
very
try the
true.
cake. Yeah, it's a good cake. You know, like they cannot tell everybody how they
Yeah.
do it. It's like
yeah. Like I said, you kind of did change my mind a little bit about this.
I think it's business more than, you know.
Yeah,
Espe-
yeah.
if-
That is also a good point. It's
if-
people's bread, indeed, at the end of the day.
Exactly. Like if you do hatch for fun, that's fine.
Yeah,
And if you're a really good hatch maker and you do it for fun and you share everything you know, that's great.
good on you.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah, but you
But-
can't expect everybody to
But
do
if you devoted your life to it, to have a brand, to make a name for it, you gotta have secrets.
that. Fair. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
I see what
it's
you mean.
like it's like somebody walks in. It's like, how do you do green sensation? It's like, well, yeah, I can. We mix nutrients, like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's a mix of things. And tell me more. You know, like you cannot tell you everything.
No.
Oh, you're a gatekeeper. You know, like.
That's a very good point, man.
I see it like that, you know, like and I learned that also talking to people that does that on a high level, and you understand
Yeah, yeah.
their position too.
Yeah,
I
there's a
used to
different
think
perspective,
also more like maybe like you know, like,
Mm.
yeah, we share everything because everybody needs to know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, we're not talking about simple things. It's like research, and it's like a lot of things. And
Yeah.
at the end, it's business. It's a recipe. It's a way of doing things. It's a strain.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of time growers have 2 strains. They're fairly equal. They say, yeah, I give you the clone.
Mm.
but you don't really have it, you know. Like, so that's also that, you know. If you have something that's unique for you, you want to keep it. You're the only one that has it. At the end, it's business. It's not like evil people that doesn't want to share their information.
Yeah.
It's business. It's company. It's a secret. You know, it has a price. You know, like
Yeah.
so.
I think that is a good point, and
That's what I say.
a good one to end this podcast with.
All right.
So I thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
being
man.
here.
Appreciate it.
I thank everybody for watching episode 7 of the legendary podcast. Subscribe and hope to see you here again next time. Goodbye.